It's Jeff. This is another episode of Deskies. How are you doing? Well, now that we got that out of the way, today, with all the buzz that has been having surrounded Marvel and Captain America Civil War, which came out a couple weeks ago, I have decided to make a list of the 15 Marvel movies that I'm hoping Marvel Studios gets to make one day. So, we're going to start this list off right away. Number 15, Sinister 6. Now, Marvel owns Spider-Man now, all the rights to it. Sony had tried to do a Sinister 6 movie while they were still doing the Amazing Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield. I think a couple movies down the line with Spider-Man, it might be kind of a cool idea to reevaluate that spin-off and possibly do it. I don't want to see it rush, but that's something I actually think might be interesting to do, depending on how they do it. If they do something sort of like DC Suicide Squad, I think it could be a treat. Now, 14, we have War Machine. War Machine has always been kind of a secondary character in the Iron Man movies, but the character is pretty interesting on its own, especially after, I'm not going to spoil it, but where, sort of how he ends up at the end of Captain America Civil War. I think that can make for a very interesting storyline. War Machine eventually did take on the persona of Iron Man, so that could even lead into a possible transition. Maybe that's a way to deal with Robert Downey Jr.'s departure eventually. I'm not positive, but a War Machine movie in itself might be pretty interesting. So 13, again dealing with the Spider-Man rights being reverted back, we have Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman I want to see. I think it'd be kind of interesting to tie into S.H.I.E.L.D. very well. It doesn't, I think they've had a couple ones. I believe it's Jessica Drew was the one I used to kind of keep up with. But I think it's an interesting enough character and a possible extension, spin-off of Spider-Man that I would like to see it done. So we got number 12, Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck was a movie made in the 80s. George Lucas, Lucasfilms made the film. I think now enough time it was considered to be a very poor movie. I really like the movie actually, but I mean, I understand why at the time especially it got a lot of negative feedback. I understand why people still don't like it. I love the movie, I'll be honest with you, but I think especially with Marvel Studios now, they have a real good grasp of what to do with their characters, and I think we could get a very entertaining Howard the Duck movie. We get Seth Green back to voice him. I mean, his cameo in the end credits sequence of Guardians of the Galaxy actually proved to be a crowd pleaser. I think it could work. Might need to be pushed back later, but they might have to tinker with it, but it's something I would like to see them do eventually. We have at number 11, Werewolf by Night. Okay, I'm a little biased. I'm a big werewolf fan, Wolfman fan. It's one of my favorite Universal Studio monsters. I've got the Wolfman features, so it's something I like. But I think it could still be a very interesting movie, especially as Marvel wants to go into more of the supernatural route. I think that's a possibly interesting direction to go. Now, number 10, again with the supernatural route, we've got Moon Knight. Now, Moon Knight has been rumored to possibly be going to Netflix soon. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. If it does, it's fine as a Netflix series. I don't think it's a series that needs a series and a movie. It's one or the other, but I would like to see it done one way or another, and I think for budgetary reasons, a movie might be the best way to go. But it depends on what Marvel has in their phases and what they want to go and achieve. So it's a movie I want to see done. Netflix series, I'm okay with it too. Whatever. Now, number 9 on my list is Daredevil. Daredevil already is a Netflix series. It's been on for a couple seasons. They made a movie years ago with Ben Affleck that didn't do so well, especially critically. But I think it's a property they've already introduced in the TV world. I would like to see more of a big budget expansion of it. I think it has potential. Even the Ben Affleck movie did not do that poorly. They did do a spin-off of Elektra. So I think it's got potential. Maybe the Netflix series is enough, but it's something I wouldn't mind seeing on the big screen again, depending on what route they go with the movie or the series in the future. Number 8 on the list, we have just Shield. Shield. Okay, that's it. Just Shield, not Agents of Shield. I can't really get into Agents of Shield that well. I've tried, but I would like to see just a Shield movie with basically Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson's character, at the helm, and we can have characters like Hawkeye, Black Widow appear. You can even include some of the characters from Agents of Shield. But I think I would like to see a film on a bigger scale and a bigger budget that kind of goes in the dealings of the Spy Association of Shield. That's not necessarily bogged down by it being episodic. I also think it might be interesting if they can include, now that they own the rights, Norman Osborn's character. They've already introduced the Iron Patriot armor. Maybe have Norman Osborn's character don that armor. I'm just being a total fan, but I think it has potential. Number 7, Blade. It's yet another property that's been rumored to possibly go to Netflix. I'm not saying Netflix can't do it justice. Again, I would watch the shit out of it if it goes to Netflix, but I'm not positive at this point. And it's definitely a franchise that I would still potentially go see in the movie theaters. They've done a film series with Wesley Snipes. Most of the films besides Blade Trinity have done well. They did a TV series already, starring Sticky Fingers, I believe it was, and it did not do too well. So I think Blade might be best as a film property, but that's just my opinion. 6, we got Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson has played Black Widow since Iron Man 2. She more than deserves her own spin-off film. She's a very interesting character. She's always brought a lot to the film franchise. Scarlett Johansson's a huge name. She's willing to kind of take secondary roles in there. She's earned her spot to headline a movie. And I think a lot of people would go see it. I know they can handle it well, so it's a movie I'd very much like to see. So, okay. 5, Namor. Now, I understand that Universal Studios, I think, owns the right to it. It's part of the reason it's being a little complicated. And officially, Fox owns the right to use the term mutant, so I think it's just a franchise right now that Marvel's kind of wanted to do, but it's just been kind of bogged down with legal reasons why it hasn't been made. But if they can ever straighten some of that out, strike a deal with Universal, I would love to see that. I kind of hope they don't keep the wings on the feet, but I'm not creative decisions at Marvel, so we'll see what they do. They've done very well with their films so far. I have faith. 4, Ghost Rider. Yet another property. It's rumored for a Netflix series. This one I definitely would rather see on the big screen, just because I very much doubt Netflix can really afford the budget that's required for a proper Ghost Rider film or adaptation. So, we'll see. Netflix, they've been knocking it out of the park lately, so they might surprise me, but I would still very much like to see a movie despite the Nicolas Cage movies. I actually kind of enjoyed them for as goofy as they are, but that's me. I like pretty much every movie. Number 3 on my list, Planet Hulk. Planet Hulk would be awesome. If they ever did another Hulk movie, which I hope one day they do, that's the route they really need to go. The Hulk movies, Ang Lee's Hulk has been fine. Wasn't great. Incredible Hulk was better than Ang Lee's Hulk, but it still wasn't quite up to Marvel's usual standards. So I think with Planet Hulk and them kind of getting to a more intergalactic mix, they can sprinkle cameos by like Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it could really, really have potential. But again, I believe Universal still owns the distribution rights for Hulk, which has kind of tied things up, especially with Disney taking over and really wanting to own all their property. So it might just be a matter of time. They might be trying to strike a deal, or they could be trying to buy out the rights. We'll see. Number 2 on my list, and this probably won't ever happen, especially under the House of Mouse, Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies, I would love to see them do an Elseworld, sorry, I can't talk, so to speak, story where it kind of goes into another Marvel universe where they encounter the Marvel Zombies. I love the idea of it. I love the comic book of Marvel Zombies, and I think they can make a ton of money on there. Only exception, it's gonna have to be rated R. It's gonna have to be graphic. There's characters that are vital to the story that they don't own, but then again, they worked around that pretty well when they did Captain America: Civil War. So I think they can do fine with that. And my number 1 pick for the film I would like to see Marvel Studios do, and this one is a lot more unlikely, Fantastic Four. And the only reason I include this on the list is Fox still owns the rights, but with all the bombs that Fox has had with Fantastic Four, there has never been a better possible time for Marvel to come in and possibly re-garnish the rights to Fantastic Four. And I would love it if they can do that. If they can get the rights back and deliver a decent Fantastic Four movie that could set up a big villain with like Galactus, Silver Surfer can get into the mix, and you've got a big bad potentially after they deal with Thanos that they don't really have to worry about in the universe going on in their next phases. So that's my list of the Marvel movies I would like to see. What Marvel movies that they haven't made would you like to see? Leave a comment below. If you like the video, please like it. If you dislike it, I guess dislike it. It's your right. It's your freedom. Thank you very much. I hope you subscribe to my channel. Peace out. Thank you.